How to structure your coaching, affiliate, or course creation business in order to optimize each component as you go through. So, what's up, guys? My name is Jamie, and if it's the first time on the channel, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer. I'm also a coach for a program called the Super Affiliate Accelerator. I also have my own coaching now, which is called the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about that, feel free to hit the link in the description. It's going to take you through to my free Facebook group where you can learn all about what I get up to in my business, how I've helped over 700 students, and how I've scaled my business to over 40K per month. Right, with all that being said, this video is all about what you need to be focusing on if you are a course creator, if you're a coach, if you're an affiliate marketer as well. And the reason why I wanted to put this together is because I've seen a lot of stuff out there. I think people are really confused as to what they need to be focusing on in their business. And just wanted to go over a couple of things. So with all that being said, if this is the first time here, feel free to hit the subscribe button. This channel is really just me documenting my 10 plus years I've been online. It is really, really not fancy. So if you're after all the I was going to say hieroglyphics, but I meant pyrotechnics and all that fun stuff, then it probably isn't the channel for you. But what it is me just documenting the last 10 years I've been online, showing you how to cut through some of the BS that's out there, from someone who's been around the block and achieved a few things along the way. So with all that being said, let's dive straight into it. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, who left that incredible drawing there? What? How amazing. No, I'm kidding. I get it's probably not incredible, actually, but you can do all these fun things. There you go. There's a little nose for you if you want. Right, so this isn't helpful for business growth, is it? I guess no. Let's just dive into it, Jamie. What are you doing? Yeah, okay. I get it. All right, so listen, here's the deal. What tends to happen is there's many moving components in your business, right? And so the deeper you get into affiliate marketing, the deeper you get into your coaching and the client acquisition process, the more you'll find that the more moving parts are there. And the problem is that all these people, such as myself, that have a whole bunch of moving parts, they're trying to sell what is actually working for them at the time, forgetting that when you're brand new, you kind of you open the curtains and you look out the window and there's like 5 billion things there, like funnels and automations and, complex follow-ups and chatbots and SMS, email marketing, SMS and email marketing. It's been a long day. You've got blogs, you've got all the stuff that you supposedly need and different ways of doing things on every different platform. And so what tends to happen is when you're learning all this stuff and you're learning funnels, you're learning automations, you're learning software and gluing all these pieces together, there's a lot to take in. And what the end of the day means is that you don't really know which lever you need to pull in your business in order to spit cash flow out the other side. So I'm going to help condense down some of the stuff I've learned over the years, rip away some of those needless layers that you probably got in your business and hopefully get to the crux of what you need to be focusing on. Right, so all that being said, let's dive straight into it. So if you look at business, it's not really that complex, right? And it doesn't matter if you're an affiliate, it doesn't matter if you are a course creator or a coach or anything offline either for that matter. It's always going to come down to the same components. You need an offer, something that is going to solve the problems of the people that you're trying to help, right? So that's number one. Pillar number one in your business is the offer. Next, we got the conversion mechanism. So how are you going to do this, right? And so what I mean by that is, are you going to have a funnel? Are you going to have a low-end product with an ascension model on the back of it? Are you going to just drop a Google Doc in for people? That's how I'm closing a lot of high-ticket sales at the moment. What a lot of my mentors and stuff are very, very good at as well is like literally just a Google Doc. Here, read through that. Okay, give me some cash. Like that could be it. You can do things like closing in Messenger. That's what I'm pretty good at as well. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to have calls, or you can do the traditional route of hopping on a phone call, hopping on a Zoom, or doing live presentations. But what I would please strongly encourage you to do is just pick one to start with, and optimize it over time and become better at it. And the better you can become at that process, the better your results are going to become, and the quicker those results are going to become because you are focusing on refining that one process rather than keep learning new processes as you go through, right? So next part about it is your traffic, also called an audience. Now, I'm building a personal brand, so for me, it's an audience. I know not every person that sees me is going to like me. I know that every person that comes through and sees this channel is going to resonate with my messaging, even though that'd be daft if they didn't. But anyway, story for another time. And the point being is that you're going to end up polarizing certain people with building your audience and building your traffic flow anyway. And so what I mean by that is you're going to push some people away. Like for me, I really don't want to work with people that aren't self-empowered. So if you have victim mentality, then I'm sorry, we're probably not going to be able to relate that well. On the other hand, I also don't really want to work with people that can't see that investing in the growth of their business is a worthwhile investment, right? And so, therefore, if you don't meet those criteria, then I'm going to articulate that because I mean this respectfully. I don't necessarily want to work with those people. By contrast, I want to work with people that are self-empowered, that can see business as what it is and understand that it does need to have some investment in order to grow. And that's kind of what I aim for, right? So anyway, get rid of the traffic one. So if I focus more on the audience, and again, the simplicity of business in itself, offer, conversion mechanism, audience. How do you get eyeballs on the offer, on the actual conversion mechanism, and how are you going to do that, right? How can you repeat that? And so when you rip away all these layers, like having complex funnels and email marketing and SMS and chatbots and all that stuff that admittedly I do have now, when you rip those away, it's actually even simpler. It's just like, how can I find someone that has a problem and how can I put a solution in front of them? Doesn't matter if you're an affiliate or coach or anything, right? How can I marry those two together? How can I tie that in matrimony together? Right. Now, the reason why I say that, you should start like that is because everyone does it the opposite way. Everyone is like, oh, I've got all these funnels, I've got all these things. You should copy what my business model does because it works really well, which is the truth. But again, like I say, people forget that people are starting out and they've got to learn all the stuff, the technology and the software and all that type of stuff. So my big advice is quite literally to add things in layers. There's something called Occam's razor. So some of those of you that have been following my channel for a little while, you would have heard me mention that. Occam's razor is quite simply that the simplest option is more often the best. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, for my entire business, started off like this: profile. And I had my offer over here, my high ticket product. Wow, that was terrible. Change that. Had my That's even worse, but let's just roll with it, right? So that was it. That was about as complex as my business model went. There was a few extra components. I'd obviously build my audience. I'd have content which gets in front of them, that resonates with them, that ideally takes my offer and helps solve some of those pain points and introduces my product as being the thing that can solve those pain points. But realistically, that was it to start with, and then added other layers. I had a group, right? Bang, group, got that up and running. I've since altered that. I've since refined absolutely every component of the entire group. Now, meaning that my close rate is usually around about the 16% mark, meaning that for every one person or every 6 people that come into my group, I'm closing at least one. Not always high ticket, sometimes mid ticket, sometimes low ticket, but 1 out of 6 people turning into customers, I'll take that every day, right? And this is something that's improving all the time. I want to push that up if I can. And so this is what I tell you to focus on, just one simple thing at a time. And then after that, you might have a funnel, and then after that, you might have an email follow up, and then you've got other traffic and other audience members ability over there, right? And so that's what I'd focus on. Yeah. What sits at the top of your mountain? Some of you have seen me do this little drawing before, and I'm just going to do the worst mountain in the world ever, but that's your offer. So your offer sits at the top, and there's a couple of things you do which really highlight the value of what it is that you have and what it is that you're promoting. Now, the offer, for the sake of this example, I'm not talking about your product. What I'm talking about is the gift wrapping as you approach the market, the gift wrapping that you present that to the market with, right? And so really, really simple. 3 things you can do. There's actually 4. I'm going to say the 4th one, so I think it's powerful, is unpack the offer, right? So if you're an affiliate, if you're a coach, if you're a course creator, anything like that, the whole idea behind unpacking is quite simply what's in it. And I don't mean the features. I don't mean like, hey, it's got 500 modules and each one's like 7 hours long and you're going to get that. All I mean is that you unpack what's in it. So if it's got a list of bonuses on the sales page, if you're an affiliate, what is that? How does that actually help the end user out? What benefit does it have to the end user, right? And so even if you can just condense that down a little bit, and you've got like 5 bullet points of like, you're going to get over 3 hours of coaching, you're going to get 6 one-on-ones, you're going to get blah blah blah. So that way people can start thinking about it before they've even seen a sales page. they'll say, oh, yeah, that's pretty wow. That highlights the value that's already there. Next, we want to add a little bit of support. And these aren't in order, it doesn't really matter. Support, kind of get the idea with this, even though my writing is not that great. So support. How can you support your buyers? And a lot of affiliates at this stage are thinking, well, hang on a minute, Jamie, why would you bother? Because that's the whole idea of having an affiliate offer. You don't have to do anything, you have to look after the end customer. And here is the logic behind this. If you've got a high ticket offer and someone is dropping $3,000 for coaching or a course or whatever it is, right, or 5K, whatever it is, or higher, they don't want to feel like they've just had some sort of transaction where they're left to their own devices. And so as an affiliate or as a coach or whatever, you need to highlight that. And the reason why is because it lowers the risk factor for people. They don't feel like jumping into this opportunity is going to be as risky because they feel like their hand is being held the whole way through, right? And so support can be really simple. You can have things like, I'm not going to write it out, but there's Slack channels. You can have chat access. I've got something called Voxer on my phone. People, my private clients voice clip me. You've got, what did I say? Let's say Zoom calls. You've got group coaching. I feel like there's some kind of crazy acronym I can build out of all this. All these ways. You've got email, like, the old dinosaur of the internet marketing world, right? You've got all these things that you can use as methods of support. And you don't have to go super crazy. It really depends on what the actual offer is itself, right? But if you have those there, then now all of a sudden you haven't created anything, by the way, you have to give up a little bit of time. And it could be really simple. It could be like you have a private Facebook group. You might go live in there once a week with a few details of something that you're doing in your business. It can be 10 minutes, right? And you just have other posts that are scheduled to go out. That's it, right? Nice and easy. So the next thing you want to do is incentivize through the use of bonuses. And people overthink this part and they think, okay, well, if I have 900 bonuses, then that's going to highlight the value of my offer. And I used to think like this as well. I used to do a lot of launch jacking, which is the idea of getting in front of basically a product that's about to launch for keywords that haven't yet been created because the product hasn't launched. And when the product launches, these keywords come into existence and you can easily rank. So, blah, 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 product review, for example. So I used to do a lot of that. And so I thought in order to be competitive, I needed to have more stuff. And so I would just overload the thing with all this kind of crazy useless stuff in hindsight. And the problem with that is actually devalues you as a marketer, because you're kind of like, you're almost coming from a place of desperation. Oh, please look at my link. I hope someone buys my stuff. And then the other part of it is that it actually lowers the trust factor as well, because it's kind of like, well, hang on a minute, why does that person need to add the thing on there to get the buyers, right? So what I get you to do is, if you're creating bonuses, think of 3 to 5 things that really, truly align with the underlying offer. And what I mean by that is things like checklists, cheat sheets, scripts work really well, anything done for you, that type of stuff. And the reason for that is because people's inherent desire is to spend less time doing things. They want the ease in which they can obtain that information. They don't necessarily want like, hey, I'm going to give you 9 books on how to do this simple task. They want like a 5-part checklist, right? And they just go, yep, tick, 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 boom, done. That there has a higher perceived value than like, hey, I'm going to give you 10 of my favorite books. Like, depending on the customer, of course, but hopefully you understand where I'm going. This comes back to Alex Hormozi's value equation. Dream outcome is up. The, what is it? Dream outcome plus the perceived likelihood of achievement, if that's up, and the time to achieve those results and the effort and sacrifice to achieve those results is down, then you've got basically a value vortex, basically, meaning that is where you're extending price because of that, right? Because of those things in alignment. So dream outcome, what is it like? $1,000 in a day, 10 grand in a day, scale your business to 100K, whatever it is. The 3-part checklist that shows how to scale your business to 100K. That's an ideal thing, right? And the last part, and this is something that is a little bit harder if you are an affiliate, you don't control the car page, but risk reversal. I was going to say risk. It's actually risk reversal, right? And so the reason why that's really powerful is, again, coming back to high ticket stuff. is people don't want to feel like they're being lost in the dark. Like, hey, here's your stuff. Good, have a good day. I'll catch you later. They want to be supported in their journey. And so if you can offer, and this is often coinciding with the support that you can offer, things like support in the form of coaching calls, for example. Like you can't control the cart page for the vendor, so you can't necessarily say, oh, I will refund you the money, especially if you're an affiliate. But what you can do is you can offer to continue working with the person until they've achieved a certain result, and continue, you say, I'll put you in my elite insiders members area, and I'll continue working with you beyond that time, beyond the 12-month time frame, if you haven't hit X results, for example, right? And you obviously need to be able to back up those results, otherwise people take the mickey out of you as well. Right, so all that being said, now our equation starts to look a little bit different. So now we've got our offer over here, and the next part about it is, guess what? Our avatar, customer avatar. Who do we want to work with? Who do we want to serve? And now that you've gone through the offer and you've got those 4 things mapped out, you're going to know intricately what the pains the offer is going to solve and alleviate. And because of that, you now know what is inside the minds of your customer, what's inside the minds of your perfect avatar, because you know, okay, well, what problems does it solve? Because then you can start thinking about what problems they're experiencing, right? And so then, like it is, what problems, let's do prob, because I'm not writing fast enough on this. What probs, right? Next part is, how long have they been trying to solve it? Like, start thinking about all this. How long? What happens if they don't solve it? How long? And then lastly is, where might they be? And when you can understand these things, even on a surface level, what it means is that you're now well and truly ahead of the pack in terms of being able to acquire customers, because you know exactly the very specific details of your offer. You know exactly what major problems it's going to solve. And as a result, you, by contrast, because you've given thought to this other side, where is your customer hanging out? How can you get in front of them? Because where are they? You're going to be able to go and find these people if you're being proactive. And how do you craft a message that gets in front of those people, right? And so then the last part is, of course, actually there's 2 last parts. Let's say last part 1.0. So is the conversion method. Are you going to call? You're going to have calls. Are you going to have house visits? Seems like a thing of the past, really, but are you going to have house visits? Are you going to have a Google Doc that is flexible and you can craft it depending on the different person that you're chatting to? Are you going to have call Google Doc Messenger? Just close in a few messages. Messenger. Are you going to close via email to, say, a call funnel, or email to a low-ticket offer with an ascension on the back of it, right? And now the reason why, I mean, clearly this is not exhaustive, but what I would encourage you to do is just find one and stick to it. If you're going to do calls, optimize the call funnel process. How are you getting people from these places, wherever you find them, over there, the traffic source, right? How are you going to get your message out there, which is going to resonate with them? How do you get that? Is it in Messenger? Is it through email? Is it through just throwing a Google Doc in front of them? Can you bridge them to a call to try and see if you can help them out, right? And so these are the main components. And if you concentrate on these, starting at the top here, start thinking about your avatar, making sure, massively, this is another huge one, is making sure if you are an affiliate or even a coach or course creator for that matter, one of the analogies that I've used recently, and I think it's quite an accurate one, is using this ladder, right? So if we're all on the ladder, we're all like trying to climb that ladder. What tends to happen, especially for new-ish affiliates, is that they are on the ground floor and they're just learning all this stuff, but then they're adding friends and they're trying to build their audience made up of people that are a couple of rungs ahead of them. And which is fine if you've got a solution to a particular problem that they might have. But what tends to happen is people are selling pretty much the same stuff to the same people, right? And so when you're trying to sell, for example, I specialize in Facebook organic marketing, and now there's a lot of sort of copycats that have popped out over the last few years. So off the back of Super Affiliate Accelerator, what tends to happen is they don't really need that anymore, because now that problem's been solved for them. They just need some more intricate information and help on a one-to-one basis, or on a short, tight-knit group basis. And so therefore you've got to start thinking about, okay, how can I serve the people behind me, right? So if you made a couple of low ticket sales, for example, then you can start looking down the ladder. Who's on the first rung of the ladder? How can you help them, elevate them, right? And what about the people on the ground floor? And I get you to think a little bit creative about this stuff, because I think when you do, good things are going to take off, right? And if you're on the ground floor, I'll give you some things to work through. Do you know that you can actually get started in affiliate marketing without a funnel at all? And I know the irony in doing that, because I'm, I won the award there. But to understand what I was saying before, is that, like, when you start really simply and you remove all these layers of complexity and you start adding them on over time, that's how you build something up, as well as growing it and making money while you're actually growing it out as well, right? So now that you know that, now that's something that you can go and help someone else with. Do you know you didn't need all that to get started? Oh, crazy. I mean, it helps, and then it's just one pathway. I'm not saying it's the be all to end all, but it is just one pathway. And so, for example, another thing, here's something else you can take away, is a lot of people, they have this dream about passive income online, and which is complete bullshit, by the way. I kind of fucks me off that is even there, because it's not like you need active income before you get to that, right? And everyone kind of conveniently forgets that you have to bust your ass in order to get that recurring passive income, and you're always fighting that attrition rate with your product. So unless you've got ad spend to fuel that, or you've got a team to help you out, or you've got tons of volume in the form of a big social media presence, then you're not going to be able to beat that natural attrition rate, that natural inflation. So that's something to think of. The lifetime customer value starts, if you're selling high ticket, say at $500 or $1,000 or whatever, meaning that your lifetime customer value starts at $1,000, as opposed to a recurring, we're making $50, as to say, with that same product or whatever, 20 months just to equate to that one high ticket sale, right? So now that you know that, you can go serve people that don't know that, right? Gives you something to think about. So, got all those pieces lined, and that was with the avatar in particular. And the last part of all this is the content. How are you going to market through your content? And so that there is, you got to raise your authority for one, and I'm going to do my little A. So you got to raise your authority. You got to give that a big A plus. How do you do that? You talk about your wins along the way. You talk about the achievements from the program that you're promoting, or if it's your own coaching, you talk about your own stuff or your student results. If you don't have student results and you're a coach, then go and find some, get some testimonials, right? Not super complex. Speak about the pain points in your content. What are the pains, frustrations, and the main things that these people want less of in their business? What have they struggled to get over? That's a pain point, it's a frustration for them. So you can start speaking to that in your content, you're going to do pretty damn well. Right, and then it's just a matter of repeating and blowing up, and all of a sudden you're doing all sorts of really, really cool stuff. So with all that being said, guys, I just wanted to throw this together. The big takeaways, like I say, think about the apex of your business, work on your offer first, think about how your customer avatar comes off the back of that, what major pain points is being solved by your offer, and then start thinking about how you're building your audience and what you need to put in front of them in order to start converting. And what you'll find is when you focus on those key areas, it's actually not as complex as you might think. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts still, but if you start to rip those layers away, it doesn't have to be super, super complex all the time. Anyway, guys, hopefully this has helped a couple of people out. I know it's a little bit of a slightly different topic, and some people, it might be an introduction to that topic, in which case, leave your comments below, let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, see you over in my group as well if you want to join that. And for everyone else, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks very much.